Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment. It is Monday, August 7th, and the Yankees were on the south side of Chicago to throw hands with Tim Anderson and the White Sox. Joining me to talk about it tonight is Frankie Baseball. Our recap and your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
Welcome back, everybody. Joining us tonight to celebrate our misery together, because misery loves company, is Mr. Frankie Baseball. How you doing, Frankie?
I just watched the 2023 Yankees. How do you think I'm doing?
Yeah, it's not a fun experience right now. Let's start with the pregame stuff. Carlos Rodon back to the injured list. That's looking like a great one. That's a beauty of a contract. We got Loaizaga activated today, and then Davy Garcia designated for assignment. I feel like Davy Garcia is another prospect the Yankees held on to until he lost his value. Any thoughts on Davy?
Well, it's nice to see him up there, I guess. I guess Rodon, we're having the Carl Pavano talks. I saw Carl Pavano's name trending today on Twitter, which is never a good sign. So that name is starting to come up, and I pray to God that Rodon's able to fix this. With the brilliant Yankees training staff, I'm sure he'll be just fine next year.
Yeah.
And then I guess no Rodon means more Sevy. So that's just wonderful.
Yeah, you had a good point. If you're a betting man or a betting woman, Severino's pitching in a couple days, and it's not looking good. With the White Sox, you might actually be able to get a decent odds, because the White Sox are pretty bad. So I don't know. I would not bet on Sevy these days. So I'm gonna do a quick recap. I'm gonna let Frankie kind of absorb this for a second, and then we'll talk about it. Yankees could not get the big hit tonight. That was the big problem. Loaded the bases with nobody out in the top of the second. You tweeted, "Bases loaded, nobody out. I wonder how the Yankees will blow this." Well, it went pop out, ground up to the pitcher. You're a prophet, Frankie.
I've seen this team too long. I knew exactly what was going to happen. And not to spoil the rest of the recap, but what a great team this is. We go to the bases tonight 3 times and scored 1 run. That is a special team.
That's rough. I'm afraid to say that we had a power outage tonight, and so my sound effects stream deck is out. So I don't have my sound effects tonight, or I would have played like the dying Pac-Man. It'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. Yankees didn't get their first hit until the top of the 6th inning. Line drive by DJ LeMahieu. That knocked Dylan Cease out of the game. He didn't hit it that hard. I mean, it knocked him out of the game. I mean, come on. Yanks followed up with hits by Bader and Volpe to load the bases with 1 out. IKF pinch hit for Rortvedt and popped out, and then Bowers ripped one down the line, but the first baseman, Vaughn, made an incredible play to rob him of a 3-run double. You want to do the Leica glove? You want to do that?
What?
The Leica glove. Do you know that? The Leica glove. I don't have my sound. I have to rely on using my human sound effects because I don't have any.
Like a glove. I don't know.
There. Nice try. We'll give you the golf clap for that.
Yeah, thank you. Nice play by Vaughn there. I know this was a terrible night for the Yankees. That was a brilliant play by him.
So Vaughn had a good game. He hit a 2-run home run off of Garrett Cole. Yankees got their first run on a sac fly by Billy McKinney in the 7th, but stranded 2 runners on base. Life is pain, Frankie. Life is pain.
Life is hell right now.
For Yankee,
watching this.
For Yankee fans.
I am so excited. Thursday is a day off, and I'm gonna go to the fair with my family. I'm so excited about that. Any time that I can spend not watching this team is just a wonderful day for me. But every night I have to watch this team. It's just pure pain.
JXV88 says this team dethrones the 21 Yankees for worst ever. I've seen worst Yankees teams, but definitely disappointing. The 21 team I felt like could have been decent, but this year I really expected them to be a much better ball club. And then we got another one from Jaro96 says Boone MVP and Best Actor Award. This season is done. Tough.
I was going to ask you is before we get to Boone, is 2008 maybe this is the most disappointing season since 2008? Because I think that was another team that was supposed to contend for a title and ended up missing the playoffs, and that was the year the Yankee Stadium went away. So
yeah.
I would say this is probably the most disappointing since then. But I wasn't watching every game back then. You might be able to tell me.
So Michael K had it great the other day, or maybe it was Francesa. Somebody said in 08, it was a disappointing season, but you didn't really notice because you had the All-Star game. You also had the final season at Yankee Stadium, so it was packed every night. And then you had all this hope of there's a new building. You had hope, right? I mean, that was the essential thing. You had hope that the next year it would be better, and it was. 2013, 2014 were tough, but you were at the end of the A-Rod contract, and you had the Teixeira contract starting to go bad. So, that was not great. But this is particularly bad because I don't see a lot of hope on the horizon. There's no CC Sabathia, no Mark Teixeira out there for us to sign. I mean, I guess Shohei Ohtani, but I don't think he wants to come here. He doesn't want to play on the East Coast. And just to give him all that money, I feel like would be a waste. I feel like we need more than one player. We need like 3 or 4 guys, and it's just not forthcoming right now.
We need like 25 guys right now.
Yeah.
And all of them to stay healthy.
Visual Prowess says, my girlfriend got me a new Yankees hoodie for my birthday. Should I return it? It's the thought that counts, man. How would you feel if she got you, or if you got her something and she returned it?
I would burn it, but returning it is fine too.
Yeah. So, I mean, tough night for the Yankees. Garrett Cole went 7. He came out after the first 2 hitters of the 8th reached on back-to-back singles. He should have never been out there. I thought he was done after about 95 pitches, 7th inning. Unfortunately, they had to leave him in the game because he wanted to battle to get that victory, but the offense didn't help him out. Final line, 7 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned. Honestly deserved a better fate, but I'm pinning this one on the offense. Frankie, I feel like the Yankees are in that Sharon Stone walking down the hallway in the House of the Rising Sun is playing in the background. The end is near.
When you started by saying Sharon Stone, I was like, wait, are we going Basic Instinct Sharon Stone? Or no, Casino Sharon Stone. That makes no, the Yankees aren't crossing their legs here. No. It's
they should.
Yes. You just wonder, like, how much worse is it going to get? We're what, 5.5 out now of a wild card. As you point out, it doesn't seem like there's any hope on the horizon. We're just the only guy that will be out there that I guess we trust totally is Judge, and he's got his injury, and you wonder how much longer he's going to be able to stay healthy for. The rest of the offense, like the offense is so bad right now. I'm thinking, should we apologize to Dylan Lawson? Because it doesn't matter if it's Dylan Lawson or Sean Casey. This offense just sucks. It doesn't matter who's the hitting coach. This is just an absolutely miserable team. And I was there for, I don't know if there's anything to brag about, but I was there for Sean Casey's first game when they took on the Rockies in Colorado, and Stanton hit a home run in the first inning. And I was surrounded by a bunch of Yankee fans, and I was thinking, we were all excited, like, oh, yeah, this is nice. Here we go. Sean Casey's going to turn it around. And then it's like nothing changed. It's like absolutely nothing changed.
Well, I'll tell you what my opinion is on Sean Casey so far. I think he's helping Anthony Volpe. I've seen a lot better stuff from Anthony Volpe. He had 3 hits the other night. Didn't do much tonight. I think he had 1 base hit, but we're seeing him go to more of a right field approach. I feel like he recognized more so than Dylan Lawson that Volpe's better off when he's a spray hitter that occasionally runs into power. Like right now he's on pace for 20 home runs. I feel like a 20 home run year for him, year in and year out, is fine, but I want him hitting 280 or better and getting on base and stealing bags.
Of course, we all would. And if anyone on this team hits 250, we celebrate it. But yeah, that is one positive. I'll give Casey that, is that Volpe does look a little bit better. His at bats are better. I sound like Boone here. He had good at bats here in this game, but it's one small positive, but it's nothing that's going to change this season around. It's nothing that's going to change this team around. It's just miserable to watch.
So I had some comments that they could barely hear you, so I turned your volume up a little bit. Let me know in the chat if you can hear him a little bit better. It's my bad. I just had his volume turned down a little bit because it was coming through a little hot on my my headphones. So all right, we got to talk about some other stuff. Did you see that horse at Saratoga? That reminded me of the Yankees 2022 season, like where they got off to an unbelievable start, but like a less than ideal finish.
I mean, it's fitting. Was it the one that Parcells was owned by? Because there was I think there was a horse that Parcells owned. That both
I don't
Parcells owned.
I don't think it was Parcells. I don't think it was his.
Okay, fine. Because I that's what I was reading earlier today. But yeah, that would be fitting. Just not making it to the finish line like so many like this Yankee team is.
Matthew Marangolo says, "What are your thoughts on Munetaka Murakami? Probably spelt wrong. Probably said wrong too. Power hitting lefty third baseman playing in Japan right now. He's 23 years old, I believe. He's got off to a tough start. He struck out about 30% of the time. Last year he had over 50 home runs. I think you have to take a look at him if he's available this winter, but I'm not 100% convinced that he's going to be available."
He's a lefty. I would sign him.
Yeah, yeah. Any lefty that we can get.
Yes.
What?
Oh, we got it back. We got it back. We got it back.
Yay!
Let's see here. We got some comments coming through. Richie Rugg says Stanton doesn't know where he is sometimes. Stanton has had a couple of bad games in a row. It's weird how he can go from, over 20 games, he had the most home runs in the league, and he was looking really good. To the last 2 days, like 0 for 10 or something like that, just completely lost.
But I mean, isn't this what we traded for? Like when we traded for him, like we kind of expected this was going to happen, and especially as he gets older, the inconsistencies show more and more. But yeah, it's just God, I don't know what to say anymore, Derek. It's just so much bad offense right now. There's so many guys that just cannot hit. And I mean, what have we left? Like 30 guys on base in the last 2 games.
Something
we
like
could start
that.
a city with the amount of guys we've left on base.
All right. So sometimes on this channel, when the game isn't that compelling, we talk about other things. So we are going to break into Goodfellas versus Casino. But first, I want to talk about Game Time, the sponsor of this podcast, the fastest growing ticket app in the world. Download your Game Time app to your phone or your tablet, or go to gametime.co on your computer. And they have great tickets. You can view the view from your seats at whatever venue you're at. You can get sports, music, comedy, all sorts of stuff. Use the code NYY Recaps for $20 off your first purchase. Game Time, lowest price on last-minute tickets, guaranteed. All right, Frankie, so I worked at Blockbuster Video from 1999 to 2004, and I used to hijack, like, after nobody was coming in after like 11 o'clock. I used to hijack the TVs that were showing like all the ads and stuff like that, and I would put on like Goodfellas or like Terminator 2 or like whatever.
Nice.
So Goodfellas or Casino? Your thoughts?
It's close, but I gotta go with Casino here. I think it's Scorsese's best movie. I think it's his most entertaining movie. There's kind of a lot of similarities between the two, but I just think I think Casino is like an 8 or a 9. I think Goodfellas is a pure 10. It's one of my favorite movies. It's actually when we first met. It was like 2 years ago, and you invited me on your show. I said, I feel like a made man. I feel like it's Goodfellas. I feel like a made man.
I think you accidentally reversed it. You said Casino was better, but then you gave Goodfellas a higher rating. So clarify for us.
Casino 8 or 9. Goodfellas is a 10.
Okay.
It is it's a fantastic movie. So many great performances, and his best soundtrack. It's just an amazing, like every Give Me Shelter, the song that he's playing when Billy Bats is killed. What the song? Derek, what song is that? I'm forgetting now. It's Way Down by the Ocean.
I don't remember.
If I ever hear that in a bar, I'm running the other way because I just know if I hear that song, I'm a dead man. But it's fantastic and great performances. De Niro and Ray Liotta, the late Ray Liotta, never better. Just absolutely sensational. Being the lead actor and the narrator, just fantastic.
I really like the soundtrack in Casino. When they're in the car and they're talking about this isn't business, this is family, this is business, and it's and they got Fleetwood Mac, Go Your Own Way playing.
Yes,
that was awesome. Did you watch The Irishman? What did you think of Irishman?
I haven't finished it.
Well, I mean, it only came out 3 years ago, Frankie. I mean,
it was too long. At some point, I'm just like, oh God. I love Scorsese, but even he needs like somebody to tell him, Marty, this is too long. And apparently, Killers of the Flower Moon is like the same running time.
Yeah. What was the other one that Scorsese just did that I really? Oh, so The Departed. Have you seen The Departed?
Oh, that is fantastic. Like Mark Wahlberg in that movie is just who the F are you? I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy.
Oh my God, Frankie, I've got notes here, and I'd written down to ask you that, and that was the quote I was going to do. I'm the guy who does a job. You must be the other guy. And I swear to God,
maybe not. Maybe F yourself.
Yeah, maybe go fuck it.
It's just incredible. I mean, everybody is great in that movie. But Nicholson is completely unhinged. It's like he's on cocaine throughout that whole movie. Just when he does the rap monologue, it's an insane performance by him. But it's horrific. I rank that a little bit lower than I think I have Goodfellas, Casino, and then Departed. But all three, I could put any of those on. I'd watch all three of those on loop, then watch any more of the 49 remaining crap games we have to watch of the Yankees.
Yeah. Well, that's, back in the day, before I had a podcast, like let's say 2013, 2014 era, I would set up my laptop or my iPad or whatever I was using at the time. And if the season was, at this point, it's August, the Yankees are really struggling, obviously not going to make the playoffs, it would get demoted. Like the game with the audio would get demoted to the laptop, and I would watch movies and stuff like that. So that I can check the score. Now that I do the podcast, I'm pretty much taking notes the whole game. So I've got the game on the main with the volume and a lot of times headphones or whatever. And that's the one thing about doing this podcast that sucks, is that I can't bail if it's 11-2, they're losing in the third or fourth inning, and you just know they're going to get dragged. You see IKF warming up in the bullpen. It's like
white flag.
I got to stick with it. I can't watch an Office rerun. You know what I mean?
No.
So I've put much less of a dent in my Netflix queue over the last couple of years.
Yeah, I can totally relate. I came up with this idea in late 2019 that I wanted to do recaps to every Yankee game. And so this is my 4th season doing it. And that was coming off the great year where they were 1 game or 2 games away from the ALCS. And I was thinking, well, it's going to be fun just covering this team every day, covering a great, the Yankees are never bad. It's going to be great covering this team every day. And now I'm just why did I do this? I'm really, I'm questioning the decision. I was so young and naive at 21 years old thinking, oh yeah, this will be fun, covering the Yankees every day. And now I'm 25 and miserable.
Yeah. Well, I started around the same time. December 2019 was the first video I ever recorded, right after they signed Garrett Cole.
Yes.
I don't know if I ever told you about how I got here. So I had started a YouTube channel. Now it's called STREAMSKI, but it was something else back then. But I wanted to do movie reviews and stuff like that. And I did a few of them, and I realized I'm just never going to break past the algorithm on this because so many people do it. So I just put out 1 or 2 Yankees videos, and they got a really good response. And then the idea was to do a daily morning show. I was going to get up, I figured I could just record 20 minutes in the morning, before the game, or 20 minutes in the morning before people got started with their day, and they could listen to Yankee stuff during the day. But I realized after doing, 50 or 60 videos that people are hype right after a game and not so much the next morning. And so we just started doing live shows, and it's now I don't even really consider this a Yankees channel like it once was. I just consider it a podcast. You know what I mean? It's it's kind of morphed into its own little podcast. I don't know. I used to do reaction videos to everything. I almost never do reaction videos anymore. It's just if something happens, just let's do a 20-minute chat about it.
Exactly. Yeah. I when you said I don't consider this a Yankee recap show anymore, I was going to say I consider this a therapy session every night. Every night we just come here to just mourn over this team. But you do a fantastic job at it, and I'm not just saying that because you're my boss. You do a great job at it.
I hope so. All right. So one of the things that I got good at when I was working at Blockbuster Video is kind of picking out somebody's movie taste based on other movies they like. So I'm going to make a couple of recommendations to you and see if you've seen them. Uncut Gems. Have you seen Uncut Gems?
I know what it is. I have not gotten around to watching that yet, but I know I've seen all the memes with Sandler in it. Not a big Sandler guy, but I did love Punch Drunk Love, so I'm glad that he's doing more movies like this. When he does the Happy Madison, or is that the production company? Yeah, Happy Madison. Yeah. When he does those films, those suck.
I
he
agree.
brings all his friends, and it's lazy comedy. But this is the stuff that he should do more stuff like this, and I'm really glad. I'm happy that he's found this second career resurgence, and don't do any more Happy Madison films.
Yeah, well, I feel when he does the the movies with his friends, it's like an excuse to hang out with his friends for a few months and like smoke pot and drink beer and play golf while you're making a movie. You know what I mean? And they could probably film those movies in 2 weeks, but they take a few months to get it done because it's like, whatever. It's an expense. But like the movies he's doing now, like he just did one called Hustle, which I think you would like, on Netflix.
That's the one with Kenny Smith, right? That's on Netflix. Yes.
Yeah, that's another one I think you would be into.
It sounds like a good film.
Have you seen Oppenheimer?
I have not yet. I'm waiting for that. I know you raved about that. I know it looked like a movie, just 3 hours of guys talking in rooms, but it seems like it did it pretty well.
It really is. Like it's like if you're somebody who hates dialogue and can't follow dialogue, which I don't think you are, but a lot of people are, it might not be for you. But it's very fast. It's changing scenes like very quickly. Like the scenes are very, very short. Half of it's in black and white, half of it's in color, and it's like telling two different stories. And it's all like building up to this like one epic moment of the bomb or whatever. Like, so like you can feel the anxiety. Like I feel like the movie was designed to make you feel anxiety. That's what Nolan does really well. And
Yes.
He kind of like, there's a movie called Insomnia that he did where so it's got Al Pacino and he's in, I want to say, Alaska. And in Alaska, there's like 6 months out of the year where there's no darkness at all. It's just like it gets to like, sun gets lower in the sky, but it doesn't ever fully set. And so he goes up there to solve a murder, and Robin Williams is actually the killer. And wow. I'm not spoiling anything. Like they tell you this in the first like 20 minutes of the movie.
That's good.
And then the entire movie is like this back and forth between Robin Williams, who can't sleep because he's a killer, and Al Pacino, who can't sleep because he's trying to like solve the case and he keeps messing up, and he's got like an investigation going on. And the whole time, like they show him trying to sleep and struggling with it, and watching it, you just feel like you have to go to sleep.
Yes.
And that's something that Nolan is really good at, like just putting you in that frame of mind. Dark Knight, like the anxiety, the tension, just the escalation. Whatever.
Yes.
So
yeah, I like Nolan. I find it weird because I think his fanboys like hype him up to such a degree that it kind of makes me resent him a little bit. But that's unfair to him. But he's a great director. But I mean, he's made some like I still don't understand Tenet. I dare anyone to explain to me what the heck happens in Tenet. So I'm glad it looks like he's bounced back in a way after Oppenheimer. Now I gotta ask, because I'm sure now that we've mentioned Oppenheimer, I'm sure the comments will now ask: have you seen Barbie?
I have not seen Barbie, so I want to go see it with my wife. Like she wants to see it. I heard it's funny. I heard it has a lot of cool cameos. Have you seen it?
My sisters saw it, and they went with a bunch of their friends. And I went to the movie theater that day, and I was overwhelmed at how much pink there was. Like everybody was wearing pink. I know if I had worked at a movie theater, I would have gone up to every one of those girls and been like, "Oh, you're here to see Oppenheimer, right?" But they all, for the most part, they all liked it. And I'm really happy that these two, I'm not going to say original movies because Barbie was based off of a property, but I'm glad these two movies that aren't like superhero movies or anything like that both did so well that the internet did such a great job building both of those movies up in a way that made it fun to go see them, and that people went to see the movies that weekend in such a great rate. It was I thought, shout out to the internet for making that such a great weekend. It's such an awesome meme.
What did you go see if you didn't see Barbie?
Oh, I went to the mall that day. They were just walking around, and I was like, I'll wait till later.
Growing up, they used to have the movie theater at the mall. I kind of miss that. Like, go to the movies, like go to the mall, go stop by like the CVS and get a whole bunch of candy, so you have to pay the mall or movie theater prices or whatever.
Oh yeah, that was good.
All right, Frankie, appreciate you joining me. Another tough night for the Yankees. Garrett Cole picks up a loss. Offense is once again terrible. Sorry for the volume issues in the beginning, but hey, it is what it is. Frankie, appreciate it.
God bless you, man. Take care.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.